Yeah, I come from the dance floor, so like I really fell in love with that, though, that crew, that vibe, the warmth that they were, it was nice. It was really nice. But yeah, you're right. There's people who are also like, even when I go to Berlin, for example, I'm in the city, and I love that city. I go there and I make really nice memories with my friends. But you can do that anywhere. It doesn't matter. No matter where you go, there you are, right? Life is like a tree, and it's the roots grow down. Those are the bad things, or the hard things, or the negative things that happen to you in life. And the flowers and the leaves and the branches, they grow, and the trunk and all that, they grow up. Those are the good things, and the beautiful things, and the positive things, and the fun things, and all that jazz, that wasn't good for me. And then it got to a point where I was facing some years in prison. And then my father was like, hey, he bailed me out of jail, and he was like, hey, here's your options. You can either
join the journey, stay for a while.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of KohPhanCast, the official podcast of Koh Phangan Island. And this week with me, Mr. Aaron Suiss. Aaron is an international performing DJ. He has one of the most incredible stories I've heard lately. Such a genuine, authentic, honest, transparent guy. Such an amazing energy. Such a big heart. I love this guy so much, and I cannot be more happy with calling him my friend. Before we get to the episode, guys, you know the drill. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, share in the comment section what you thought about this conversation, and let's get into it. KohPhanCast. Enjoy the episode, guys. Aaron, thank you so much for being here with me, bro.
Yeah, man.
And I usually start this with complimenting my guests. And honestly, even before I knew of you, something in your energy, something in your eyes, like, I know there's a story behind you. And I can see, like, usually people that are this humble and this, like, giving, and, like, I came to your house before we even knew each other, and, like, you're so welcoming and so wholesome and so, like, into what you're doing and focused. So I had to check for myself, who is this character that it's so beautiful to see. So first of all, thank you in behalf of me and everyone else that you ever had at your place, or it gave the smiles, You're the shit, bro. I really like you. Fuck yeah.
Well, I'm just a reflection of you, so we are the shit, right?
Yes, we are, bro.
Right.
And for the people out there that don't know you, 30, 40 seconds, Aaron Suiss.
Okay, everybody. I am Aaron Suiss. I was born and raised in Washington, D.C., United States of America. And I spent from 18 until 25 in Israel. And from 25 until now, which is pretty much like 9 years, I'm in Koh Phangan. I started my music career at age 21 with a partner. Well, I started by myself, actually, doing drum and bass and dubstep, and hip hop also. I come from hip hop. So, and then there's a big other story that kind of goes behind the whole way I started music, which maybe we will get to in the podcast. But anyways, to introduce myself, I started music when I was 21, and then I ended up in a duo, and we were under the name Levy and Suiss. I produced music for like artists like Lior Narkis and all these Mizrahit artists and stuff like that. And one thing led to another. And I ended up here doing my solo project.
And here we are.
As Aaron Suiss, yeah.
With the labels that you started, that we're going to get to it also. And like everything that I see from you lately has been super, like, you're focused, you know what you want to do, you're doing it. And it's so amazing to see people with this kind of energy to them, because, there's a lot of talkers out there. But seeing people that are like, I'm going to do it, it's rare. And I love when these kind of people are around me. And again, thank you for the energy. So let's get into it, bro. Like, I know that to get to this level of self-realization and the energy that you have, you must go through some things. And like, you were born in Washington. Like, can you elaborate a little bit about the early days?
Yeah, I will. I will also say that you said Self-Realizations, which is the name of an upcoming track of mine.
Oh,
really,
shit.
really interesting.
Look at that.
Yeah. So, to tell you a little bit about where I come from, and I come from good family and a good area, but I got myself involved with the wrong people at a young age, and ended up actually being quite frank. I was in and out of jail most of my juvenile life until I was 18, and that wasn't good for me. And then it got to a point where I was facing some years in prison, and then my father was like, hey, he bailed me out of jail, and he was like, hey, here's your options. You can either fuck off. Can I say that?
Yeah, of course.
You can either fuck off, or here's a ticket to Israel. And I was like, well, I'm going to go to Israel then. So I ended up in Israel, living with some extended relatives, and I stayed with them for a couple of months. And, I was just like in this mindset of like still this American gangster kid that, needs to prove himself to somebody and earn respect and blah, blah, blah. But that wasn't really who I was. I'm me, and I have a soft heart and a warm soul. So I was just like trying to fit in and be cool with people that actually weren't good for me and didn't really want my best, but I wasn't aware of that at the time. So I was like, doing really crazy shit. I actually have a TED Talk about this, if you know what a TED Talk is.
Yeah, of course.
And you can see it on YouTube you type my full name in. But it goes a little bit more into detail about this. But so one thing led to another. I ended up in Israel, and then I ended up by myself, not living with my extended relatives in Israel. And I ended up in jail in Israel, funny enough.
Habits.
Yeah, so I was like, okay. Now when I think back about it, I was like, okay, I'm definitely attracting some kind of vibe here that that's just that's the vibe I was in. I was just attracting that,
Yeah.
And so when I was in jail in Israel, I didn't really do anything so bad there. I was just in the wrong place, wrong time, once again, attracting that energy. So when I was there, I had this beautiful family that I'd only known for a week. And we would go, I was locked up for like 3 weeks, maybe a little bit longer than that. And I would go every week, we would go to face the judge to see, he would say, okay, this is your sentence, or nobody's come to bail you or out or whatever. So you stay or you go or whatever. So 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever. In the last week that I was there, this family that I'd only known for 1 week, they came and they signed a paper, an arvut, a paper that said that they take full responsibility of me, and they put me on house arrest and in their house with 3 young children, and they trusted me. They believed in me. They believed that I had a nice soul, or I don't know why. I didn't even believe in myself at that time. It was like 19, 20 years old or something. And I spent that year on house arrest in their house, and who I now call my adopted father said to me, you must do something with your life. You can't just sit here on house arrest for 1 year and do nothing. And I was like, and before I was spending a lot of time in the club scene, the club culture of Tel Aviv, partying and getting to know everybody in the scene and everything. So I really fell in love with the DJs and the dancing, and I come from the dance floor. So like I really fell in love with that, that crew, that vibe, the warmth that they were, it was nice. It was really nice. It was a nice community of people. And I told him, I said, I want to DJ. I want to play music. So he helped me get equipment. And on that year of house arrest, I taught myself how to DJ. And when I got out of house arrest, I used my contacts from before, some friends of friends and whatever, who had venues and events and whatever. And I started playing in Jerusalem. One thing led to another. I got a residency at the bass club from a guy named Mark Finkel, who he used to own it back then. I don't even know if it still exists now.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And that's how I started my career, actually. That's like where it began. So, it completely turned my life around, and music saved my life, actually. It gave me this like beautiful, mind opening or self-realization of like, hey, you don't need to fit in by being cool and doing things that is actually not yourself. You can do stuff in ways to express yourself, and the right people are going to be next to you. The right people are going to attract to you. So I did that TED Talk also to inspire troubled youth, to show them that there's other ways to be cool.
Yeah.
I think I'm a pretty cool guy, not to, toot my own horn, but I think I'm a cool dude.
You are.
I have some nice friends and good people around me. You're having me on this podcast. I think you're a cool guy. I think, we attract each other. So yeah, I mean,
my God, I have so many questions.
Yeah, sure, man.
Yeah.
That's like in a nutshell. Yeah. There's a lot more details and
we're going to have
stuff.
A lot more nuts and a lot more shells. It's going to be all right. So I want to start with this. Okay. You are a 19, 20-year-old boy that is kind of lost by what you told. How does it feel like having someone looking at your eyes, in your eyes, and having empathy to you when you don't have empathy towards yourself? What it's like having someone that is grown up that believes in you when they don't even really know you? And how does it feel having the fire that is kind of distinguished in your heart suddenly fired up again? Someone believes you. Someone believes in you.
It's a beautiful feeling, man. It's a beautiful feeling. I didn't feel like I deserved it, if I'm being honest, at that time. But, we as human beings walking this earth go through life. And the things that come to us are things we deserve. And everybody should remember that, Things happen to you because you deserve them, because of your karma, or because of what you attracted, or because of the way you're thinking, or because of who you are as a person and the vibe that you're giving off. And maybe they're negative things, maybe they're positive things. You learn to embrace them all. It's important. Embrace the dark, embrace the light. Not to sound too spiritual and too hippity dippity, but when you can walk the dark side, it helps you on the bright side.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It makes total sense. I say this sentence maybe every episode, but like, there is no tree that can climb to heaven if the roots does not go to hell. The spectrum needs to be both ways. It needs to go both ways simultaneously, because you cannot even understand what it is like in the other side when you don't understand where you are. And it was such an amazing sentence you said, like, you don't need to start attracting people and start being part of something because it's cool, because you want to be like, there's two kinds of way that you can live this existence. You can live from inside out or from outside in. You can either let others influence what you're doing and go after the current and try to be part of something that is not starting within you. Or you can find, first of all, within yourself what it is that you bring unique to this world, to this existence. What is your passion, your gift? And when you find it, you can create a current instead of trying to fit in one.
Yeah, and actually, so I want to comment on that, on what you just said, but I also want to go back to your analogy about the tree. The roots and the stuff. So it's really cool that you say that, because I also have this saying. I don't remember if I made it up or not. Maybe I did. Maybe a friend of mine did. I really don't remember, because I've been saying it for a long time. But it's interesting that you said that, because life is like a tree, and it's the roots grow down. Those are the bad things, or the hard things, or the negative things that happen to you in life. And the flowers and the leaves and the branches, they grow, and the trunk and all that, they grow up. Those are the good things, and the beautiful things, and the positive things, and the fun things, and all that jazz, But if those roots are not deep and strong, and the storm comes, that tree's gonna fall
in a minute.
It's gonna go down, man.
Yes,
so you have to have those negative, those hard, difficult experiences where you almost even hit rock bottom, to be able to flourish and grow.
Absolutely. And it's such a shame that so many people out there are trying to avoid those heavy feelings and those less fun vibes. And not only life can be like all this sunshine and rainbows and the moment you start appreciating and realizing that sometimes that those hard moments and those harsh moments are so much more important than the yippity dippity, ooh, let's have fun,
Yeah.
which we are filled with here on this island.
Yeah.
But the moment you embrace, like you say, embrace the darkness, embrace the negativity, the things that you don't really want to feel, that's the only way in this existence I see to actually be comfortable in yourself. Because how much worse can it get than the worst things I've already experienced? Like I really believe that nothing in this existence comes to break us.
Yeah.
Everything comes to make us better, build the character, build the foundations of what it's like being a human, what it's like perceiving others, what it's like be empathic to others. Because as a person that went in and out of jail as a kid, you must have this perspective that's like, how is it even like going into those kind of juvies and those kind of systems as a young boy? What's the lessons that you remember carrying with yourself, and how does it help you shape the way you see yourself today?
I remember a few times I would go in there and I would, if I'm being honest, I'd be scared, because I was just little white boy from the suburbs, and I thought I was so hard, and then I actually end up in this place, and I try to hold myself, and I would have held myself, and I have in some situations, but it wasn't me, it didn't feel right. Like I'm a soft guy in the end of the day, I look like this guy with muscles, and I do. I'm muscular, and I have tattoos and whatever, and people judge immediately based off of that, but once people get to know me, they see a different side of me, or somebody that they didn't expect. And that's actually who I really am, somebody who's a little bit softer. This is not for me. I'm not supposed to be here in jail, I always felt like that. I'm not supposed to be here. This is not for me. I kept going back, but I felt like that. So those were the feelings that came up. This is not for me. I'm not supposed to be here. Maybe other people had those feelings. I don't know if it's something that everybody says, like, yeah, I didn't do it, man, like, or whatever.
Not guilty.
Yeah, whatever, what it was. But really, that's genuinely how I felt. Like, I'm not supposed to be here. This is not for me, and eventually it became not for me. I became different. I changed. I realized also when I was in Israel, actually, in jail there was a shirt that I was wearing that I had that shirt. I must have had the shirt for like 10 years prior. It was an old shirt, but a really nice shirt that I loved. And I never realized what it said on the tag. There was a tag on the bottom here, and it said, somewhere something incredible is waiting to be known. And I was just like, that gave me hope to like, okay. So that was the last time I was ever arrested or in jail.
What changed in your perspective, in the energy that you carry around you, that said to you, okay, this is the last time?
I don't know if it was me that said it to myself, or if it was just like a mutual understanding of my conscious and subconscious and soul or whatever, that was like, okay, you're done. You've had enough. Like, it's time for you to grow and become who you are really supposed to become. And I think that's what I'm doing. And then now to shift a little bit,
yeah, of course,
onto what you were talking about in terms of, creating your own wave and fitting in X, Y, and Z. So yeah, when you follow other people and you try to be like other people, it's difficult. It's actually more difficult to do that than it is to like be your own like unique self. But people always, they compare. I also compare, it's very difficult these days, especially with social media, when you see like, all your friends or whoever playing here and there and doing this and releasing there and whatever, but you just naturally are like comparing, or whatever. So but I try not to. I try to be aware of it. I think being aware of things is a very important tool. The first step to tackling any issue or problem, whatever, be aware. I have this problem. I'm doing this. I don't want to do that. Awareness. When you follow this way of being, like, for example, Tale of Us, and they made this new sound, or not new sound, but they kind of had this signature thing of this 16th, 30 seconds, cut, stab or whatever. And so many people started following it, and there are artists who followed it and made great music and whatnot, but there's just like this trend of like, what's the word? Ununiqueness? How would I say that? Like, yeah, I see you how to speak English and I'm American. Oh, that shows how long I've been outside of America, right? But yeah, like ununiqueness or there's a word.
Repetitiveness or like
repetitiveness, not being true to themselves, you know?
Just imitation.
Imitation.
Trying to be something based on,
And I don't feel, you know, that's the right way. However, I will say that in the beginning of my solo career, which was, I started my just Aaron Suiss project about 8 years ago. Yeah. So started the Aaron Suiss project about 8 years ago. And in the beginning, I was doing that. I was trying to make music like other people or to fit a certain label, or whatever, you know, because I don't know, I just wanted to fit in, I guess, you know, or I wanted to fit in the place that I wanted to fit in. I wanted to do what I thought it was the right way.
Yeah.
You know, but actually, and it was very difficult for me. I will say I was trying to make a specific type of music and be a specific type of artist. And, you know, when I stopped doing that, when I started to realize and sit down in the studio and say, hey, fuck this. I'm going to make the music that I want to make, and the people that are going to like my music are going to come. I don't need to be somebody else or try to make this type of music. I want to make what I want to make. So if you hear all my new music that's coming out, most of it is very minimalistic, very to the groove oriented, hypnotic, monotonic, or monotone. How do I say? Like monotonous. There's obviously melodies and whatnot, but it's very monotonous, and it's very oriented on groove oriented, which is really what I want to put out. And I want to put this style of music out because I'm coming from the dance floor from a place where, like, when it's too extreme highs and too much happening and too many things going on, I get overwhelmed and I can't even listen to it. I just want to hear a kick bass that moves me with a few little sounds in there that really make my mind work, and, you know, start from the stomach, work your way up to the brain. That's what I say. That's how I produce my music. And since I started producing in this way, it became so much easier, man. I'm busting out tracks.
You're doing you.
Yeah. I'm doing what I love, man. I'm doing what I want to give to the world. And it's become so amazing for me. It's become a therapy for me to sit in the studio, not a frustration. I'm not sitting there like, oh man, I'm really trying to get this out. I need to do it like this. It needs to sound like this, listening to this reference and that reference. I still use references, of course. They inspire me. It's inspiration, you know? But I'm doing my way now. My thing. I started my own record label.
Echoes of Time, guys.
Echoes of Time, with my partner Barack White, and we are doing really well. And so many amazing things are on the horizon. So I'm just so happy with the decision I made to really make music. I want to say for myself, but no, it's not only for myself. It's for the world. It's for the people. But yeah, I'm doing it from a place of what I want to give to the people. Yeah. So there is making my own wave, talking about creating waves. That's me creating my own wave. And let's see, hopefully it will be a tsunami, but...
It's going there, bro. It's going there because as I see it, when you say, yeah, I'm not only making the music for myself, I'm making it to the world, I understand it. But in my hippie-yoppie kind of mentality and brain, you are the world. And the moment you make music for yourself and you can feel the energy that you have when you listen to something that you just made and you love it, this energy correlates with the people that are going to listen to your music because they are connecting to their part of what it means, like being you in them. So you connect more to them because you connected to yourself over this music that you give. So the vibe is much more, the vibe is so much more real when you make what you want because you know how you feel towards it. And the moment
authentic.
It's your energy out there. Yeah. And also, like you said, you started from drum and bass and things like that. Like, do you think there's a correlation between the change that you had from drum and bass and those harsher kinds of music to the music you make now? to your personality that shifted with the years?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you're constantly growing as a human being, you know, and the way that I was then, I was way more intense, way more impulsive, way more, you know, and the music I was playing and making was like that too, you know. I actually never made drum and bass. I mean, I've made some drum and bass just messing around, but I've never like released any drum and bass or dubstep. That was what I started DJing, more dub and drum and bass and dubstep. But anyways, yeah, it's definitely you have to do a lot with the way my personality has changed. And since I've come to live in Koh Phangan, Thailand, where I've been for the past 9 years, almost 9 years, you know, I've become way more like fluffy and way more soft and emotional, and my heart open to the world, and the music I'm making is also becoming more like that as well. But there's still that grounding kick bass that in most of my music you're going to hear that's very centered. And I kind of feel that about myself. Yeah, I'm all over the place and whatever and fluffy, but there's a center, there's a grounding that's there.
Yeah, you're talking about the music, and I can say the same thing about yourself. The high intensity of workouts that you give yourself, because I constantly see how focused you are on your habits, your eatings, your trainings. It's so important, and I got taught by life that how you do something is how you do everything.
Yes. And I'm so happy you said that.
Yes, like you cannot excel in one thing, and it's just a whole standard that you gotta keep with yourself.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to do it like you need to do it, then just don't do it, and it's okay. You have no obligation of doing anything. But what keeps you? What is the energy behind this whole atmosphere of how dedicated you are to anything you're doing, like widely?
How you do anything is how you do everything. I love it, man. Yeah, that's great. I feel that way, and I say it, so I'm really happy you said that.
I'm here for you,
we're
bro.
vibing, man. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I have goals, you know, and I set my goals, and I want to reach them, and I'm a very fiery man, so and motivated and driven. You know, that fire inside of me, it just drives me. So I feel like I'm constantly on a mission to get somewhere, you know, to do something, which is kind of a blessing and a curse, because like I have like when I'm washing my dishes, I'm like, oh, I have to get this done. I have to get, you know, but, and sometimes also when I'm making music, I'm like, I'm on the roll. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's get it done. Let's do it. I'm enjoying the process, of course, but you know, so it's kind of like a blessing and a curse. It drives me and motivates me to keep going and keep moving. But, you know, sometimes it's a little bit much, and I need to learn to balance that out, you know, in every aspect of my life, not only in one way of music production or whatever, but also in the gym and this. Now I have a little injury, and not injury, but a little pain in my back, probably because I was just going too quickly and trying to get it done, you know. So yeah, basically to answer your question, there's a few answers to the question. The first answer is I have goals I want to reach, you know, whether it's fitness goals or career goals, personal goals. And also, I strongly, strongly believe, and also know from experience, that if you put good things into your body in terms of diet, you eat well, you're going to feel better than if you eat like shit, you know? And it's just a fact. Like, I also eat like shit sometimes. I love pizza, for example. I love fried chicken. It's not very healthy for you, but like, I love it. And I do eat I do eat that sometimes, but it's all about balance, right?
Yes.
It's really all about balance.
Yes.
So you have to, it's also the same for music production. It's all about balance, man. You know, everything in life, it's all about balance.
Yes.
So when you eat your pizza, fine, but then, you know, maybe for dinner, have a salad, you know, and make sure that you go to the gym 3-4 times a week at least. And yeah, I mean, you know, I also, you know, I party, so we all know what that means.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it, but we all understand that, you know, I also do unhealthy things.
Yeah.
You know, and but once again, it's important to know your balance, know your way of living, what is good for you, and what is good for you is not necessarily good for other people. Everybody's different, everybody's unique, and that's also what is one of the beauties of life, because if we were all the same, that would be fucking boring, man.
Oh, wow.
you know?
Oh, wow. Yeah. And there's something so delicate about the idea, the concept of balance, because you can start thinking that balance is a place that you need to reach. And as I see it, like, balance doesn't really exist if you don't shift your perspective into like putting, like, define what balance is for you. You know, because if everything that is good makes you feel good and everything bad makes you feel bad, like, there need to be like an active understanding that, like, sometimes I gotta give myself some slack.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can sit for 45 more minutes and, you know, play with the equalizer in my studio when it's on bypass for the last, you know, whoever know how long. Or I can choose to take a big breath, look at the plugin and be like, okay, I need a little break.
Yeah. No, that's important also.
So it's all about being active in the moment. And do you have core things that keeps you grounded here, that not taking you to, like, we can so easily identify with our thoughts and our feelings and our mind, and I need to do this and I need to be that and I shouldn't do this. And what keeps you in balance, in check about, like, what's your way of listening to yourself?
I don't know, actually. My feelings, just how I feel. That's an interesting question. I don't really have an answer that comes like that, but what keeps me in check, I want to feel good, man. I want to, like I said, I have goals. I'm on a mission. I want to feel good. I want to do what I feel like I came here to do, what I feel like I'm supposed to do. Okay, here's the answer. My purpose. My purpose keeps me in check.
Yeah.
And it's important for everybody, every man, woman, everybody to have a purpose in life, you know? I think personally, maybe I'm wrong. What I say is not necessarily right.
The truth.
Yeah, it's not. It's just my truth.
Yeah.
It's what I feel.
That's all I'm asking from you.
But I think that people, if you don't have a purpose, you're lost in ways, you know? And a lot of people, you know, don't. And they get lost.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of it here on the island. I've seen a lot of it all over the world, you know. But it's important to have a purpose. And your purpose could be taking care of your child. Your purpose can be writing music. Your purpose can be cooking. Your purpose can be taking care of your husband or your wife. Your purpose can be anything.
Yeah.
Whatever you feel is your purpose.
Yeah.
That's important. And staying true to yourself, you know, that's also important. So make sure that you stay true to yourself. You have a purpose in life. It could also be painting. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Any art, anything. It doesn't matter what your purpose is. I don't care.
That's the most beautiful thing in my eyes about life. The fact that, like, there's so many different ways to visualize and make physical something out of passion. You know, passion can be interpreted in so many different ways. And as I see it, there's a lot of strong drugs in this reality, but the strongest of them all is momentum. You started doing something, you're continuing doing something, it will grow bigger. That's the whole reason this existence even exists. You know, just the entire reality comes to like a climax and decline. That's the whole reason. We are getting born and one day we are dead. We're creating a huge, the biggest party ever seen, and it will end at some point. That's the whole thing. The waves, you know, it's not about how big the wave that you catch is. It's about the fact that you are staying in the ocean that will get you to where you need to be. So yeah, it is all about the purpose that you have, but you can know your purpose and not have the momentum to make it, to drive it. You know, so the correlation, the addition of momentum and of actual activity, like doing something with your purpose, because I know that as I see it, my goal is, my gift is the ability to make hard ideas simple and making others comfortable around me. But I can know it for years. Like I've wanted to do this thing for 5 years before I started. And if you're not going to do something with the things that you want to do, just another thought in your mind.
I will say that you do make me feel very comfortable around.
Thank you. It's because I'm comfortable with myself. It's because I spent so long disconnected from myself and so ashamed of whatever it is that I was ashamed that I don't even remember. Like, I grew up as a very, very fat kid. Looking back at pictures, I wasn't that fat, you know, like how stronger is the way, like society and other people around you perceive you.
Yeah.
How strong it is over how you see yourself, especially as a kid that lives life on automatic kind of wave.
Yeah.
You know?
You're really, I mean, you're really, especially as a kid, influenced by your surroundings, you know, and your surroundings, of course, nowadays and age include a lot of social media and a lot of, you know, maybe, I don't know how old you are, but
30.
So yeah, when you were young, it was more like magazines and whatever, but like in TV shows and in ways you're supposed to be, supposed to look, and you start to have this like body dysmorphia, and you start to see yourself as some, you know, something that you're not actually, and it's not really that bad, and actually you beat yourself up over these types of things. So yeah, I get that, and it's difficult, but it's important to grow from that and learn from that. And you seem like you have. I also have definitely grown out of my young child phase of whatever I was then. And yeah, you know, constant growth is important.
Those the biggest blessing that you and I had in our lives, you know, because I see so many people that like went through like puberty and whatever it is, like younger age, you know, people of money and people of that was so comfortable growing up that at some point, those tools that you have, that I have, that people like that have, are so important to the navigation of like, okay, what comes first is how I perceive myself, is the understanding that if I'm not trying to hurt anyone, that if my heart is pure, if my intentions are good, what chance am I have to lose?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it all boils down to one thing.
Yeah.
What is your intention?
Exactly. And why is it so hard for us? That's a big fucking question. I'm not expecting answer. Why is it so hard for us to just, you know, I will turn it around. Why is it so easy for our mind to go straight to the worst case scenario?
Yeah. I
You know, why is it so easier just to think like she's gonna hate me and this gonna happen and I'm not gonna succeed in this, then rather like, why not try?
So it's interesting. It's an interesting way of the human mind, why a lot of, like, most of the world probably does that. You know, it's like automatically goes to the negative. But I personally have got to a point where I do that and then I catch it and I'm like, no, awareness, right?
Yes.
Back to awareness. No, I'm going to fill that with a positive thought. Actually, somebody very close to me told me recently, life, if you think about when you have he gave me the analogy, if you have a bottle of cranberry juice, and let's say the cranberry juice is full of your negative thoughts, and you just keep pouring water in there, right? Eventually, there's going to be no more cranberry juice in there, right? It's going to be all clear water.
Yeah.
So you think about the clear water as your positive thoughts, and the cranberry juice is the negative thoughts. So when you have those negative thoughts, and those bad feelings or whatever, just pour positivity in there. And it's so hard sometimes. It's so difficult when you're really in it and you're like, oh, fuck, man. Like, she's not going to like me, and this is going to be like this, and this is going to happen, and fuck. But when you catch it and you just talk to some friends and just pour positivity in there, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be good. Go to the gym.
Yep.
Go exercise. Jump in the ice, man.
Yeah.
Jump in the ice bath. Go to do a sauna. Talk with your best friend. Make music. Something creative. Throw paint at a canvas, you know? That's something I'm getting into soon, too.
That's
just
exciting.
do something positive just to let it out, you know? And fill up your brain with positive thoughts and positivity.
Yeah, and the understanding that sometimes we do have storms in our heart, in our mind, the fogness, everything that happens regularly, you know, on day-to-day basis. But we gotta keep ourselves in check that we are not the clouds. At one day, the clouds are gonna pass, and we are the sun that is for a second hidden behind whatever it is to be a human. And the moment you realize and you remember and you're connecting with the fact that you understand that all suffering comes from identifying with your thoughts, identifying with your mind, identifying with whatever situation is coming to you, with whatever, like this negativity that is crippling in our mind that tries from time to time. We gotta keep ourselves in check that this is also a part of us. And if we choose to fight that, and no, I don't want to listen to it, I don't want to say, it's not me, you are actively fighting yourself.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to hug those part of you, there's not going to be any progression.
That goes back to embracing the dark side, right? So actually on another note, well, not another note, on the same note, but a different way of thinking about it, you don't need to necessarily force positive thoughts into your mind. You could also try another way of embracing those feelings, those negative thoughts, and seeing how they make you feel, and feeling them for a little bit. I mean,
Sitting there.
Yeah, at the end of the day, when you're feeling stuff, good or bad, that's being alive. You're feeling alive. There's somebody in my life who made me feel things, good things, of course. Not of course, but good things, but made me feel things, and they made me feel alive, so alive, electrifyingly alive, and I was like, fuck, it's so good to feel, just to feel.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. It could be also negative things, but just to feel in general. Like, imagine if you couldn't feel. Imagine if you were just like, you were just baselined all day,
This
dull.
numbness.
Yeah, just numb all day, dull, like.
Yeah. Again, the moment you're shifting from the micro perspective, you're going to the micro, and you understand that, like, if I really want to be aligned with myself, I cannot experience only half. Like, why would I even try to keep myself? That's kind of a comfort zone kind of vibe, that you're like, okay, I don't care about how I feel, but I do care about feeling good. I only want to feel good things.
Oh, yeah, you can't, man.
No, you cannot.
You can't be all day like. Imagine,
you try.
Yeah, imagine like your mother dies. No, you can't. Like,
you cannot.
Yeah, you have to. You need to be in a bad mood sometimes. It's okay, actually.
My God, bro! Thank you for the segment. It was fucking beautiful. But I have some more things to ask you. At some point, you're starting to DJ. You went out of the 1 year of there, and you know how to DJ now, and you're starting your gigs, and slowly, like every other DJ, you're aligning slowly. Your music taste changes with time, and like, do you remember a gig, a space, a time that you were like, oh wow, this is what I want to do, and I'm right now feeling so aligned with myself?
I felt that many times, not many, but a few times, because as I said before, we go through different, phases in life, and we grow, and at one point I was, in Israel, in Tel Aviv, or where was it? Was it Tel Aviv, or there was like, so I think it was an outdoor event somewhere outside of like Beersheba. I don't remember, but I was a moment of that alignment, feeling there. But if I really have to choose one place that made me feel so alive on the dance floor, or on behind the decks, it's here in Koh Phangan. I mean, there's a few places that I'm like, wow, like this is exactly what I want to do. And I don't want to name exactly all the places, because I don't want to,
It's all yours.
I just want
You don't have to.
There's just some places here.
Some places are good here.
That really, I was just like, the sun was rising, and I was like playing what I wanted to. Man, I could have cried, dude. Maybe I even shed a tear. I don't remember, but I was just like, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I want to do. This is my path. This is my direction. I'm feeling this, and I took it, and I took that feeling, and I made it here now where I am. I harnessed that energy, and I kept going and going. And that fire inside of me, that Aries energy that I have, it just.
Yes. And that's also a super important concept, that like the feelings that you feel are created by you.
Yeah.
You allow yourself to feel those feelings. Like so many people here are coming to the island, having the time of their life, going back to their country and shutting down again because they think that the place made the feeling. But the feeling made the place.
And the place definitely helps, though.
It helps.
I will say, 100%. When you're in the concrete jungle, it's a little bit different. But yes, you're right. There's people who are also like, even when I go to Berlin, for example, I'm in the city, and I love that city. I go there, and I make really nice memories with my friends. But you can do that anywhere. It doesn't matter. No matter where you go, there you are. Right?
100%.
Yeah.
And lately I've seen like you came back from a tour that I wanted to talk about. In Africa it was.
Well, I actually started, left Koh Phangan, went to Bangkok, did one show there. From Bangkok to Istanbul, had a show in Turkey. Istanbul to Switzerland. Had another show there. And then Switzerland to South Africa. Had 2 shows prior to Africa Burn. Then I did about 5 shows at Africa Burn, which was incredible. Such a special, special place. And I go every year to Africa Burn. It's a really special place in my heart. And then after that, I came back here. I was so ready to come back. I mean, it was a great tour. It was a great time, but there's no place like home, especially when you live in Koh Phangan, man.
I am in a mutual feeling with you. This place is the first place that ever made me feel aligned with myself. Like, allowed me to feel aligned with myself. Like, had me in this place.
Gave you the space to feel.
It's just that the people, again, that was out there and was like, oh, those are free people that just are that allow themselves to be whatever they want, and it felt so attractive.
There's a lot of depth here in the people,
a lot of depth,
and not but yeah,
they're not doing anything.
No, this place attracts a special type of person like you and me and other people that are all like-minded and want to live a good life out of the matrix, and really making their own life, making their feelings and creating their feelings and their memories, and their creating their life in the way that we want, whether it's getting massages every day because they're so fucking cheap or whatever it may be here, there's a lot of like-minded people that are coming together here and in creating the vibe of the island, and it's really special. So,
and back to the touring, how do you have like a routine while you're touring? Because you're not in your natural surrounding, you might not be able to work out like you want or eat like you want. How do you keep your balance in check when you're in an environment that is so like random and flowing?
It's hard actually, but and it depends also on where I'm touring, how I'm touring, if I'm a few months in Europe or if it's just like a quick weekend here. And then if I'm traveling a lot, I don't even work out sometimes. I maybe do some push-ups in the hotel room here and there, some crunches and whatever. But I generally, like in terms of diet, I generally try to eat pretty healthy, everywhere I go. It doesn't matter where. Because that's just I just listen to what my body wants. I'm like, okay, what do I feel like having now? Yeah, I want a chicken breast or a steak or whatever it is, or a salad, or, I just kind of feel what I want. Actually, it's the same way I work out. I don't even really know what the fuck I'm doing. I just feel like, okay, today I'm going to do pull-ups and mix it with some push-ups and do this and that. I don't really know. I just listen to what my body wants in that moment. And I feel like maybe it's the right way. I don't know. But when I'm touring, I have if I'm touring for a long time, like I just did now, I was gone for a month and a half, and I bring with me a TRX, which is this little bands device, and I also bring resistance bands, which is a bands device you can attach to any door or tree or whatever. And if I'm gone for a while, then I'll take that with me and I'll do little workouts here and there. But if I'm being quite honest with you, this last tour, I think I worked out like, I don't know, 4 or 5 times the whole month and a half. So, it just depends.
That's okay as well.
It's also okay. Yeah. It just depends. It definitely like screws up my routine, but this is the life that I chose. I chose to be a touring DJ. I chose to be an artist, somebody who makes his money from playing shows around the world. And that's what it is. So, there's pros and cons to everything in the world. And it's like that, so. It is. And about the label, when did you open the label? Recently? January of last year. So we are a year and was it January of last year or was it January of this year? No, it was January 2024.
2024?
I think. I'm pretty sure. I'm almost positive.
That's good enough for me.
I'm almost positive. Actually, I could check real quickly.
What is the thing?
Oh, man, I need to check.
Go for it.
No, yeah, tell me.
Yeah. What's the reason for you opening a label? Like, what went in to you deciding, like, you and Barak, let's do it?
Well, I did it. I started it by myself, and I just was tired of getting either no replies or rejections from labels, and then I was like, what can I do with my music now? Like, I want to release it. So I was like, no, I need to make a platform for me to release the things that I want to give to the world. If some label doesn't take it, doesn't mean that it's not good. Doesn't mean that it's not worthy of being out there in the world. So I would, that's like kind of how it started. And then Barak and I have a very similar vision, a very similar way of what we want to give to the world in terms of music production in our productions. And it just vibed. It was like, yeah, this is so right. This is the right thing to do. And I partnered up with Barak, and we have Echoes of Time, which I'm about to tell you.
Anytime now.
Yeah.
Drum roll.
It's coming. Releases. I'm gonna find the first release. The first release. Here we go. 2024. I was right.
Yeah.
January 2024.
And usually when you're doing something that is right, it will always, be so easy, so natural, so fluent. And are you releasing like exclusively your music, or like you're taking requests from talented people out there?
Yeah. If you guys have demos, send them through. It's not like only for my music or for Barak's music. This is for the world once again, and for people to share their artistry with us. I do release obviously a lot of my own music there. But we're very open to receiving demos, and we just received a few demos that we signed already, and we will be releasing in the next couple of months from other artists. So yeah, we're
exciting. I see.
Submissions are open, guys.
Check the inbox. And I've seen that you're also starting, I've seen some parties that you're making and some sets that you're playing together. Is it some sort of a project, a plan that you have towards it?
Yeah, I mean, we are doing showcases wherever we can. I think the next one is July 16th at Coco Yard with the Happy People. And then Barak is opening a new...
16th? 17th?
I think it's July 16th.
16th?
Pretty sure it's 16th.
I have a feeling of 17th, but okay. Same.
Could be 17th. Maybe got the dates wrong. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's the 16th.
Oh, it's all good.
But anyways, so and Barak is also opening a new venue called Secret Mountain, which is, I mean, it's been here for a while, but he's renewing it, and that's gonna be like next level, and I think it's opening next month. So we'll be doing showcases there, and we do a lot of back-to-backs just to give people like the understanding of, okay, hey, we're here. This is what we want to give to the world. This is what we're doing. And, trying to put our sound out there, trying to get on the map, and really
do what you want to do.
Yeah, show the world what we want to show them. Give the people what we feel like they need and want.
Yeah. And sometimes you know better than them because they don't really know what they want for themselves.
Man.
Yeah.
Educate the dance floor.
Yeah, again, it's so we have the things that we know and the things that we know that we don't know, but so many things that we don't know that we don't know. Maybe our favorite genre is out there, we still don't know about it.
Yeah, I don't know about it either. Maybe I'm going to make some other...
That's the beauty of life.
Yeah.
Just being able to open your eyes to the current moment and allow other experience, because as I see it, the fact that we are two separate humans doesn't mean we're separate. We are two different ways of being a human.
Yeah.
Each one of us...
We're still human.
We are the same, blueprint. We all got born through a woman, and we all raised, as a human, but the only thing that shifts between us is the experiences that came on us.
We're all from a woman for now. You never know.
But who knows what the fuck is gonna happen?
Somebody's gonna be born from a petri dish,
Who knows? Probably already. This world is getting so crazy.
Oh man, they already have AI robot cops now. It's.
I've seen it. China is putting out drones and shit.
It's scary a little bit, if I'm being honest, man.
It is, but I think we're kind of on the safest place.
Oh yeah, Koh Phangan
right now.
Koh Phangan is I think pretty safe from all that stuff for now.
What was your first encounter with this place? How did you get to realize the fact that this is the spot?
Well, I don't know. I didn't really. I arrived here by accident. Not really by accident. I arrived here to Phuket first, to Phuket, Thailand. And then there was a friend who recommended this place. And I was, I was with my wife at the time. And we were like, yeah, let's go check it out, And we arrived here, And one thing led to another. We were supposed to stay like 3 months. One thing led to another, and 9 years later, here we are. Like, so you just, some places just energetically just hug you and like you're home. I just never felt like leaving. And I will also say that when we arrived, we met the owner of Half Moon Festival, and his name is Zhao, and he really took us in. Like he treated us like family, and he really gave us a nice platform. He gave me a residency as a DJ there, and well, I had quit DJing actually for 1 year before that. I was like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I was teaching English online to Chinese kids. Really, I was just done with the music industry. But when you're supposed to do something in life, it just finds a way to bring you back. So I was here, and Zhao was so welcoming and warming. The Half Moon Festival was really a special outlet for me. And they were paying really well, and things ended up really nicely. So I got my residency there, and
one thing led to another.
Yeah, it was just like, okay, I'm here. I got work. It's a nice place. There's beautiful beaches, beautiful people. I'm gonna stay.
What is yours will always end up finding you. And where you need to be and where you need to go, you will blink 2 or 3 times and you're gonna be there. And as long as you have the self understanding, and you're clear enough with yourself to be like, oh, I kind of just go with the flow and allow what needs to happen, because I know I have 2 perspectives. I have the hero that is experiencing and the writer that already knows everything.
Fuck yeah, man.
So if I'm going to connect to the writer more than I connect to the hero, and I'm going to strip away all the things that I think are putting me aside, and all the legs that I'm putting to myself through the world, and just accept the fact that whatever is mine will be mine whether I want it or not.
Amen, brother. I really love that. I love your vibe. I love the way that you are. We knew each other before, but this is the first time that we're actually sitting like this and conversing. And yeah, we're recording, but this just feels like a conversation. Man.
Yeah,
and I love that. Yeah, and I really love that. And I'm really learning a lot about you as a person. It makes me feel more connected to you, more closer to you, and wanting to be your friend even more than we already were.
Bro, so. I'm in.
Fuck.
Here's our hour. So I'm just going to give you a little bit more compliments, bro. Whatever I thought about you until now is multiplied by whoever knows what the biggest number I can think about is. You're such a unique person. You're so giving. You're so nurturing. Your energy is so vibrant, and I cannot thank you enough for being here with me. I know that this thing is going to help people out there, and I cannot wait to put it out already. Thank you so much, Aaron.
Man, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Absolutely. And all of the things you said, I feel the same about you, man. So
part of the same thing, bro.
Amen, brother. Thank you, everybody.
KohPhanCast.
Yalla.
Join the journey, stay for a while.